Hey
So,
guys, how's it going?
hey, it's going good. How are y'all doing?
Awesome. Um, so first things first, like I want to ask, like, are you guys interested in actually like going through the technical SEO stuff, or do you guys want to do a typical Q&A? Because
Personally, I'm in down for the technical to get it out the way. I think
mhm,
just like you and everyone says, it's a foundation
mhm.
and it's not pretty or anything like, sexy and all that, but it's really
Yeah.
necessary. So I'd love to
Okay.
just get the 80/20 out the way and
Okay.
uh, if
All right. Yeah, let's do that then. Let's do that. And if you have any questions while I go through the the document, then feel free to ask. But yeah, I'm gonna go through it real quick. Let me know when you guys can see my screen. You guys see it?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, awesome. So the goal with technical SEO is really to make it, like, well, you don't want it to be difficult for search engines to crawl and understand the content on your site, right? I'm gonna bring up a Miro board so you can kind of understand exactly what we're trying to do here, right? Or the reasoning behind it. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna start drawing here. Right? So if the search engine has two websites, right, like two Shopify stores, and one had 100 pages, but only, let's say, 10 were quality, and another had, let's say, 50 pages, but the same 10 were quality, right? The search engine will always prefer to crawl this, right? This, just because you have more pages but only 10 are quality, the search engine's always going to prioritize crawling the site that's easier to crawl, right? Because it takes less resources to crawl this site. It has the same amount of quality pages. The search engine will always crawl this. And that's really the goal when it comes to technical SEO in the end, right? To reduce the the cost, right? The cost of the search engines to crawl and understand your website, right? And that's what all these fixes here are for, right? It's to reduce that what do you call this? The cost of retrieval. That's what you call it. The cost of retrieval, right? And every technical SEO issue increases the cost of retrieval, whether that's having duplicate pages, whether that's having 404 pages because like the search engine is crawling a page that doesn't exist anymore, or even like broken links. Like if it crawls a page that has an internal link to a page that doesn't exist anymore, that's a broken link, you've essentially wasted the search engine's resources. And the search engine doesn't like that, right? If you have two sites and one has less technical SEO issues, the search engine's always going to go for that one site. It's going to prefer to index, crawl, and basically prioritize that site because it just takes less resources. The search engine is built to basically use as little resources as possible and to present or index the quality content, right? So what are common technical SEO issues on Shopify that will increase the cost of retrieval? Number one is this is the main one, I think. Shopify product page URLs, right? Typically, a product page URL should look like this on Shopify. If you look at, you know, if you go to a product page straight, it'll always use this URL. But ever since, the beginning of Shopify, they always chose to nest the product page URLs in the collections based on which collection you came from. And this is problematic in terms of SEO because then depending on which collection you come from, uh, you have a different URL, right? And it's just using a canonical tag to point at the actual real URL, which is this one, right? This is the real URL actually, right? I can show you an example on a site, righteous felon. I always use the same example because I know that they have not fixed this. Well, we'll see if they fix this right now. But they always usually have um, they always haven't fixed this. Let's see if they have um, um, healthy beef jerky. I know that that's one of the, yeah, here you go. And then we have the regular jerky page, right? So if you have like, this is the same product, right? Let's look at what's the same. Let's look at the same product that's on both of these. OG hickory beef. Okay, they don't have that on this one. Okay, and they didn't repeat. Anyway, yeah, they didn't repeat it here. But the problem basically is when you click the a product on a collection, it becomes nested in the collection page URL, right? And the problem with that is that that's not the real URL. If you look at the page source, there's a canonical pointing to the real URL, which is really just the one without the nesting, right? And this is a simple fix. You literally just remove the within collection in your Shopify's backend, right? In the theme code. Okay. And the tricky thing is that this is not always going to look like this, right? It's not always going to be in the exact, product grid item liquid. It'll sometimes be like the file names might be different, right? So the goal here is to actually look for this within collection using something like you can you can download your theme and use uh, Visual Studio Code, an app, to search for this specific within collection to find every instance of this in your theme and remove it. And that will basically fix these URLs, right? Again, the goal is just to make it easy for the search engine or reduce the cost of retrieval. Instead of like landing on a URL like this and the search engine having to look at the canonical to point you at the real product URL, just use the real product URL on every single what do you call this, collection page, right? Because like again, like you're just wasting resources by nesting the product pages in the collection page URLs when in the end they have canonicals to the real the real uh the real URLs, right? So yeah, that's one of the main ones. Okay. Um, and then the rest really are mostly, well, breadcrumbs is not really an issue, but the breadcrumbs do break when you fix this, right? If you have existing breadcrumbs on your site, they will break if you make this fixed because the breadcrumbs on Shopify work based on which collection you came from. And that's why it's important to fix it if ever they do exist and you broke them by making this adjustment, right? Okay. And then the rest of it, most of technical SEO, 80% of technical SEO is actually just removing duplicate pages from your site, right? Because again, every duplicate page wastes the search engine's resources. It adds to this, right? Instead of like instead of actually having like let's say 10 product pages, you end up with 30, 50 because they're duplicate pages, they're tagged pages, right? And that's just a waste of the search engine's resources. You don't want to index these pages because they don't provide any SEO value. And we're going to go through quick examples of this. And we're going to use Righteous Felon again as an example because they're a brand that hasn't removed these from the index, right? Like, so product tags and blog tags. Like, if you quickly check Righteous Felon and looked at, tagged pages, they have a ton of tagged pages indexed, right? Like these are all pages without any SEO value that the search engine is using resources to crawl and index, but they're never going to rank for anything because they're just duplicate content, right? This tag is just a duplicate content. It's just a waste of the search engine's resources. Okay. Like, for example, even if you had product tags for, in here, for this example, skin types, like if you wanted to actually rank for, let's say, moisturizer for oily skin, you don't want to rank for that with a product tag on your faceted navigation. You want to create a dedicated collection page for that keyword, right? So you don't want to index product tags. You don't want to index blog tags. You don't want to index any tag pages because they're just a waste of the search engine's resources. These pages don't have any SEO value, and uh, yeah, you're just increasing your cost of retrieval, right?
Is that the way to check to type it into, so it's
Mm-hmm.
site and double on this, and then website. So
Yeah.
website name, that's tag. And
Yes.
and so if nothing shows up, then we're in the clear.
Yeah. So there's two ways to check this really. You want to check it. This is the quickest way to check it, right? Like doing this. The second way to check it is to check on Google Search Console, right? Because Google Search Console will show you a list of all your index pages. If you see any tag pages there, then yes, like something's wrong, right? Like for example, if this site decided to remove tag pages, you'll see their index pages fall off a cliff because all those tag pages get removed from the index, which is a good thing because instead of like 1,000 pages being crawled and indexed by the search engine, you now just have 100. You now just have 70, right? You're just, you've decreased your cost of retrieval by a lot. Okay. And to remove the product and blog tags from the index, it's a very simple fix, right? You just add this to your theme.liquid file. Ideally close to the top of your theme.liquid file in the head, because the idea behind that is you want the search engine to crawl your site immediately. And if it identifies right at the top immediately that, oh, this page shouldn't be indexed, right? Like no index, right? Then it will not bother crawling the rest of the page. So you're saving yourself some resources there. Okay. And yes, it's as simple as just putting this in the theme.liquid file. Okay. Next, other duplicate pages, auto-generated collection pages. Right? These are usually just very few, like vendor and product type, collections, other default pages like the all collections page or the all products collection page. Like I'm assuming Righteous Felon actually still has these because they just don't remove them. So if I were to guess, yeah, there you go. Like this collection page doesn't rank for anything, right? Like it's just lists out all products. It has no SEO value, doesn't provide any SEO value, doesn't have a target keyword. It shouldn't be on the index, right? And to remove these from the index is the same. Just add these uh, snippets, code snippets to your theme.liquid file, right? Because the goal is to just have the search engine crawl these pages, find this no index, right? And just stop indexing these pages because it's a waste of resources. Okay. And that brings us to the robots.txt, which is different, right? Because these pieces of code means that the search engine is actually still crawling these pages and finding the no index, right? The robots.txt tells the search engine period, like straight up, like don't even bother crawling these pages. Okay. Don't even bother crawling these pages. Save your resources. Don't even bother crawling these pages. Right. And this is typically what we like to include in our robots.txt. And you'll find it's the same things, right? Like don't crawl the tag pages. Don't crawl like this one. This allows, well, it explains here, right? This one blocks the blog tags. This one blocks the product tags. This one blocks the auto-created collections for product types. This one for vendors. This one for all pages. This page. Because again, you want to save as much resources as possible, right? So that the search engine is just crawling the pages that you actually care about. which are going to be your main collection pages, right? Like for in this case, it would be like biltong, or beef jerky, meat sticks, right? Beef jerky sticks, and not like the tag pages because they don't provide any SEO value, right? Next
So,
is simplifying. Oh, yeah, you have a question?
yeah, sorry, Miko. Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good
Uh,
evening.
for the indexed product and blog, I added the code the way that you told us in the
Mm-hmm.
course.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, how long does it take to see the results? Like I added like maybe 3 days back.
Mm-hmm. It does take a while, but
Oh,
you will see it on. It does take a while because again, it also depends on how frequently the search engine is crawling your site, right?
okay.
Because when you add this, it gets added to the page. You can check if it's added to the page by right clicking view page source, and then you can check if it's if you have
But
the
when
no
that-
follow
but-
on it.
with the no follow because I checked with the same way with the view source. I
Mhm.
couldn't see the code.
You can't see the no follow.
No. Uh, is it the way to see the code or the no follow?
So the code will not be there. What you'll find is this meta name robots content index no
Okay,
follow.
because I
Yeah, this
was
one.
searching for the entire code.
No, it's just going to be this. Yeah.
Okay. The
The way the
meta name.
code works is that it's checking if it's a tag page. If it's a tag page, it'll insert this. That's basically what it's doing. It'll
Okay, so
insert this piece
when
of
I
code.
do the view source, I would see the meta name robot, not the
Yeah.
if current tags, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah, no. Yeah, so the way this works is like this is just checking if it's a tag page. And if it is a tag page, it'll insert this piece of code. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's the same thing here. Like the way this code works is it checks if the template is a collection or a vendor page, and then it inserts this piece of code if it's true, right? If it's
Oh,
false, then it won't insert the piece of code. Yeah,
okay. Thank you.
no worries. And yeah, the how long it'll take for it to reflect depends on, several factors, like how often the search engine is actually crawling your page. Because if the search engine hasn't crawled that new page and hasn't found the no index, then it's not gonna happen yet, right? I mean, there's ways to make it happen quicker by, going into GSC and forcing the search engine to double check the page. But yeah, it can take some time to be removed from the index. And you will see the progress on GSC. You can go to like index pages and then you can see kind of like the graph of how many pages are indexed, and it should slowly go down because those pages will be removed from the index.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, and one key thing here that I think that needs to be said is that you want to do these stuff, the insert the code stuff, before you do the robots.txt. Because that's a tricky thing where the robots.txt tells the search engine not to crawl these pages anymore. But the issue there is that if you stop the crawling of these pages before it finds the no index, then it might get stuck in the index because the search engine cannot crawl and find this piece of code anymore, right? Because you told it to stop crawling. That's why it's like kind of tricky. But in the end, like you wanna do this first and then do the robots.txt after. But for smaller sites, it shouldn't take too long, to be honest. Okay, next is simplifying product variants. And the thing here is just you basically don't want to you don't want to create different pages for different, like let's say use it like there's an example here, colors, right? Cotton sock green, cotton sock black. If these are not separate keywords to target, you don't want to create separate pages for them because again, you're bloating the index, you're creating unnecessary duplicate content that can, again, waste the search engine's resources, but it can also lead to keyword cannibalization, right? So the way we would normally do this is if these don't have significant search volume, just put them in one product page and then make them different product variants. That way, it's just one page with different variants, and the search engine will not index the different variants. It'll just index that one page. So it's pretty simple, right? Either merge variants into a single product, a single product. Or if you really want to keep the pages separate, use canonical tags to point to the one page that you actually want to rank, right? Like in this example, if cotton sock black is the most popular keyword and cotton sock green didn't have much search volume, you could still have separate pages, but then you just have to add a canonical on this cotton sock green page to the cotton sock black page. Basically, to tell the search engine, this is the page that you should rank. This is the one that's more valuable. It has more search volume, etc., etc. Right? Do you guys have any questions about how to do this or regarding implementation of this?
I mean, I put view page source. I thought I had implemented it, but I couldn't find no index, the words. So I found no follow. So,
No
and
index,
then,
yeah.
yeah. Uh, and then it complicates things. If we put the robots dot, you said txt prior to,
Yeah.
then, okay, pretty
Because you want,
technical.
yeah, because like you want the, because like you don't want the search engine to crawl these pages like
Yeah,
later on, right? But then you want the search engine to crawl it first to find the no
it,
index to remove it from the index first. Yeah,
to find that can,
yeah,
so that means if it was done incorrectly, we have to remove the robots.txt command, re-input it, and then
yeah,
go back and okay.
exactly. Like, but like again, check first if it's being indexed because if it's not being indexed already anyway, then just leave it, right? Because the idea behind this is that eventually, actually, if the search engine is not crawling it, it'll stop indexing it eventually, right? But you kind of want it to get removed from the index, and this is probably the faster way to do it, right? Because we've experienced this on like larger sites where we wanted to remove a ton of pages from the index, and we needed the search engine to crawl the pages before doing the robots.txt because these pages got stuck on the index because the search engine wasn't crawling them anymore, and they're already indexed. And they would eventually get removed from the index because the search engine wasn't crawling them anymore, but it was taking so long. So we did it the other way around. The we removed it from the robots.txt and allowed crawling again to crawl the no index to get them removed from the index faster. And then once we knew they were removed from the index, we added it back to the robots.txt. If that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, moving on to yeah, deleted products. Again, this is the same thing. Like if you delete the product, it'll end up in a 404 error. So there's actually two things that we would like to do here. Number one, delete the product only if you really have to, right? Because if you don't like, because there are options to not delete it, right? You can always just say it's out of stock, or change the button to notify me if there's stock again, or you can change the button to a related product, right? You don't. It's usually not a good. It's not usually not a good idea to actually delete a product because you can leave that product page up and just change the CTA to yeah, one of those that I suggested earlier. But if you do really have to delete the product, you have to set up a 301 redirect, which is pretty straightforward on Shopify. Yeah.
Miko, for this one,
Mhm.
when I was pulling the report from the Google Console for the 404, I found
Mhm.
this kind of parameters. I'm going to send it in the chat here. Uh,
Sure.
like www.mywebsite and then slash those kind of things, the CDN
Mm.
shop. So whenever I click those ones, it says the website is not available, and then there is
Mhm.
a link, URL to the Shopify, to log in to the Shopify. So how can I
Mm.
fix those kind of things?
Yeah. So this CDN. What
Yeah,
is
this is
this?
in the 404.
Interesting. Well, these shouldn't be crawled in the first place, right? And these will probably not be indexed. But you just want to make sure that there's no internal links pointing to a URL like this, if ever there are, if they exist, but there
No.
shouldn't be. Yeah, so it should be fine. It should be fine. And then, like when it comes to technical SEO, you don't want to spend too much time going over like the tiny issues, like if it's like just a few 404 pages, it won't make a huge difference, right?
So I just leave it, yeah?
Yeah, you want to spend most of your time really on like doing the bulk of the technical SEO, which is like removing duplicate content, removing most of the ones that make sense, right? But if
That's
you
right.
see like a few 404s here and there, um, you don't want to spend too much time basically troubleshooting them and resolving them, because that's time better spent on actually like, doing tasks that move the needle, like
Yeah. Yeah.
content,
So
backlinks.
those kind of extensions and or parameter, do I need to leave it? It's not a problem. It won't affect
Yeah,
anything.
it's usually not a problem unless
Okay.
you start seeing like a ton of them. If you see them once in a while, like pop up here and there, like it's usually not a problem, right?
Actually, there are too many. Like
Mm.
I have the sheet here, so it's around um I think it's
And
around 50. Yeah.
50.
Yeah, it's around 50. Not the same. It's kind of the same, like CDN shop, 50
Mhm.
assets, and then the extension or the parameters is something else. So that's why I'm
Mm.
asking. It's around 50, so I don't know.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Trying to understand why the search engine is even
Yeah.
crawling these pages, right? I mean, like you can always disallow these pages from being crawled using your robots.txt as well, right? Like you can
Okay.
always ask ChatGPT like the search engine's crawling these pages.
Yeah.
Um, how do I uh, basically disallow that using a robots.txt,
Okay. And
right?
this again, this is the cloud for the Shopify, yeah?
Yeah. It
Yeah, I don't
seems.
know why yeah.
Yeah. And if I were to guess, it would be something like disallow CDN shop, and then anything inside that it'll stop crawling, right?
Okay.
Yeah. But it's weird. Like normally Shopify would not normally not crawl this. It should normally
Yeah.
be in your robots.txt, I think, if you have one.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah. Try that out. Ask ChatGPT and see if that fixes the issue, and make sure that it's not stopping any important pages from being indexed. That's always the tricky thing with doing technical SEO
That's right, yeah.
improvements, or yeah, because you don't want to accidentally stop the crawling of your important pages, right?
Yeah, that's right. And I'm sorry for those ones like the last scroll, it was on August 24.
Oh, oh, that's a long time ago.
Yeah.
Um,
So I just ignore, isn't it? Because I'm afraid to do
yeah,
anything with the robot and then I
yeah,
ruin.
it's fine. If the last scroll was that long ago, it's probably not crawling.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you can like if it's is it listing it as an issue? If it's listing it as an issue, you
Yeah.
can do like a validate fix, I think, and they'll remove it or tell you like which ones are actually still issues.
It's in the 404
Hmm.
on the
Yeah,
console.
yeah.
Mm.
Try clicking a validate. I don't remember the exact wording, and I can't pull up Search Console here because you'll see a lot of client data. But yeah, there's a button there that says validate fix, and they'll tell you which ones are actually still 404s and which ones are fixed,
Oh,
right?
really? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know which one? If maybe later you
Mhm.
can post it or something?
I'm gonna stop sharing my screen real quick and I'll pull up page. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's called validate fix.
Oh, validate facts. Okay, no worries.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, sure. Okay. Sorry,
Um,
also for the yeah.
I'm just pulling out some random site now. No, I can't see it. Yeah, but it's called validate fix. It's in
Oh, I
the
know this one.
top
So
part.
I
Yeah,
validated. Okay. So for
yeah.
the canonical, if I have the one page, but it has maybe many variants or something,
Mhm.
you added the website for the back end of the Shopify. So when I go to this one, there is a column for the canonical. So do I need to add the primary URL for each product?
Are these variants or are they separate product pages?
Like I have too many products. Each product has different sizes or different yeah, variants or colors.
Oh no, they will automatically, if they're not separate pages, then you don't have to add the canonical yourself.
I added. There's an issue.
No, there's no issue, but you didn't have
Uh,
to.
Okay.
Yeah, you didn't
You know,
have
at the
to.
beginning, whenever you read anything, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's quite new for me. So yeah, okay,
yeah.
let's
But
follow
if
it.
you're using like the variants feature on Shopify, you don't need to add the canonical. It's automatically canonically to the same page. It'll automatically do it. The only time you need to add the canonical is if you have separate pages, right? Like if you prefer, like it says here, if you prefer to keep separate pages, then yeah, that's when you have to do the canonical. But if you are using the variants in one product listing, you don't have to manually add the canonicals. It'll
Sorry,
automatically
I
canonical.
added because I saw in the Google Console there is a canonical issue. This
Oh,
the yeah. So it was like slash the SQ and the variants, the color, those kind of things. That's why
mm,
I added the primary URL for each product.
mhm. That's odd because normally if you
Okay.
look at like a variant, it will have the canonical to the main page automatically.
Yes,
Yeah.
when I do a view source for the page,
Hmm.
yes, the canonical to the primary URL or the main
Hmm.
product.
Yeah.
But in the console, I don't know with the console,
Mm.
the result is quite different because they crawl everything like the different SKUs for each product under the same
That's
page. So
that's
that's why
odd.
I added this one. Will it help in future after they do the crawling?
It should help, but again, like it should have automatically done it. So yeah,
Mhm. Okay, so for this one, when I added the URL, do I need to add the code here, the one showing for the meta field?
this one.
Yeah, do I need to add this one?
Normally you wouldn't have to. Again, if you're using
Okay.
you know, the variants feature and one product listing, you wouldn't have to do this. This is only if you insist on using separate pages for the different variants.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Deleted products, removing projects from Shopify sitemaps. Yeah. Um, this is pretty straightforward. Like if you basically canonical or no index a page, you have to remove it from the sitemap. Or you'll have that weird error where a page is on the sitemap, but it's set to no index, right? Your sitemap should only have your sitemap should basically just be a sitemap of the pages with SEO value, right? You don't want like a 1,000 page sitemap, a 500 page sitemap. So you want to remove anything that is no index. You'll see this on Google Search Console. It'll say something like uh, pages on sitemap but not indexed or something like that. Yeah, no index page on sitemap, something like that. Yeah.
Uh, I'm on,
Mhm.
where do you go for that? Just to check, because I have
Um,
Google Search Console.
on the left side, I think it's like pages, and then it'll show you indexed pages.
Okay, I'll look for it.
Yeah.
And Miko, sorry, whenever
Mhm.
we do any things like if I am applying this course, do I need
Mhm.
to yeah, like after every step? So do I need to remove the sitemap, the existing sitemap of the console, and resubmit it again?
No, no, no. It's
No.
because the sitemap's on the same URL, right? It'll just recrawl the same sitemap. It's
Oh,
fine.
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, the thing with SEO hidden also is it's automatically sets the page to no index, no follow, which is not ideal. You want to make it no index but follow. So yeah, you kind of want to change it to this. Yeah, you just want to add this into your theme.liquid file, which is pretty straightforward. Like if I explain the code, it basically checking if it SEO hidden is equals to 1, right? When you tick the SEO hidden box, in these pages. And if it is one, remove the no index, no follow, because you want to no index follow some of these pages anyway, right? Yeah. Regarding structured data, super important, but Shopify actually makes sure that your structured data is fine, right? Like most themes will have built-in structured data. So the thing with structured data is you just want to make sure that it's working properly, right? Because Shopify actually takes care of this for you. You just want to make sure your theme it's working for your theme, right? Or your theme has it, right? So you can always check using tools. You can use GSC to check if your structured data is working. You can even check on the SERP. Google your site and just check your if your structured data is showing properly, right? Like you can always do like a collection. Or no, let's do products. Products are always the ones with the structured data. Yeah, see? So this is what structured data would look like. If your structured data is working fine, you would be able to see it on the SERP. If it's not, then yeah, you're gonna not be able to see the stars. You're not gonna be able to see the price, things like that. Yeah. Yeah, and then that's really like the 80% of technical SEO. As long as you're removing most of the duplicate pages from the index, you're already making it super easy. Well, not super easy, but easier for the search engine to, crawl and understand the content on your site. And you're not wasting its resources. Other things though, like you're gonna wanna crawl your site with a tool like Sitebulb to identify any SEO issues. Like usually things like missing meta descriptions, missing title tags, missing alt tags, like those are much harder to fix because you have to go through each of them or use like a tool like Matrixify to export your files and fill them in. But those also affect your cost of retrieval because again, if a search engine is crawling your site and your site has no title tags, then it's like the search engine is going to have to work harder because the title tag is basically one of the easiest ways to tell the search engine what the page is about, right? Like, for example, if you have a page about shredded jerky chew, your title tag is shredded jerky chew. If that title tag was blank, then the search engine will have to use more resources to figure out what this page is about. They'll have to crawl the H1, they'll have to crawl more of the content, right? Versus like, oh, okay, crawls the title tag, it says immediately it's shredded jerky chew. It makes it you're basically making it easier to do its job when you take care of all of these things like meta descriptions, title tags, alt tags, etc., etc. Yeah.
I don't know if this is related. I'm very ignorant with this. It's breadcrumb schema. Does that fit into any of this?
I mean, yeah, of course it helps because like let's see if I can find a site with breadcrumb schema. Usually like a site like Best Buy would have a breadcrumb schema. But you will be able to see it on, oh no, you would be able to see it on the SERP if you do it properly. And it doesn't apply for a lot of keywords, and it depends also on like the keyword. But let's see if we can find some real quick because it sometimes doesn't work for some keywords. But let's see if we can get it to work on something like this, right? No, it's not good. Let's see, because this one has the breadcrumbs, right? Let's see if it works on this because it's harder to find. Yeah, so it doesn't. So breadcrumbs, basically will um. Let's see if it works on like a higher level. It'll show the links. Yeah, it doesn't. It'll show the links on the SERP if you have it done properly. But it's very rare to see these days breadcrumb schema actually. So yeah, I don't think Yeah.
I know, apps are not like a be all end all, but are
Mm.
there, any of your clients, do you see any like consistent apps that they use regarding anything that,
Mm.
whether it's an image optimizer or something like
Well,
mass no index for
mm.
products or
So the image optimizer, Crush Picks, like is the most
crush bit?
common one. Yeah. Um, Crush Picks. Another common one is Bloggle. Is that Bloggle? I think is it called
Yeah,
Bloggle? The
yeah.
one where they can insert product CTAs into their blogs. But other than that, those are like I think the only two. Matrixify for the ones that need to deal with
Uh,
a lot of data, a lot of SKUs. Yeah.
I was using Bloggle. I actually didn't mind them at all, but I'm taking the
Mhm.
developer route instead,
Mhm.
where it's just, gives me an
Yeah,
opportunity to insert
it's better.
that.
It's
Yeah.
better.
Plus,
Yeah.
plus their plans, like they start to push you for the ones that are above 50 a month or so. And then
Mhm.
plus it's still an app. I mean, it's not bad.
Yeah.
The functionality of it, it does make it easier, but with just developing it and getting what you really need is the ability to add the collection and the
Mhm.
products. So
Yeah, exactly. Um, if you can find a way to do it with a developer, it's always better because you don't want to be dependent on any apps, really, in
mhm.
the end. Because an app can stop developing, an app can raise their prices, and it's just annoying, right? Like, yeah, um, yeah. So the structured data, the site bulb, yeah, site bulb, you'll end up finding a lot of issues, right? Common issues are like this, and all of this again are just different issues that increase your cost of retrieval because you're wasting the search engine's resources, right? Like if there's a schema error, the search engine again gets confused, orphan pages. Also, because then it's like it's a page that the search engine can't reach because there are no internal links. Broken links, you're just wasting your search engine's resources because it crawls a link and then ends up in a 404 page. Mentioned this earlier, etc., etc. Right? Like these are all just stuff that increase the cost of retrieval and waste the search engine's resources. Okay.
Is site bulbs like the equivalent of Screaming Frog, like
Yeah,
the
exactly.
same?
They're the
Okay.
same. They're the same thing. Yeah. And the last thing is like Google Search Console. The thing with Google Search Console is a lot of these things are going to be intentional, right? Like you're gonna see a lot of errors, but you're intentionally, like for example, this alternate page with proper canonical tag. Like that's not an error if you did this intentionally. Like if you have tons of product pages that you don't want um, indexed, and you have the canonicals pointing to the pages that you actually want to index, then it's fair for why these pages are not indexed, right? Like they shouldn't be indexed. Okay. If they're blocked by your robots.txt, you just want to make sure that you did it intentionally, right? Like you don't want to block your collection pages, so you want to check this to make sure that you're not blocking important pages. But if you see this list and it's a list of pages that don't have SEO value, then you're doing the right thing, right? Like this is actually like something that the clients always, talk about or comment on, because they always get these emails from Google Search Console telling them, "Oh, this issue is preventing your, pages from being indexed." But it's like we did it intentionally, right? We did it intentionally. Yeah, excluded by no index tag. Yeah, there you go. Like that's something that we did intentionally. Okay. Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of like really technical SEO. It's like 80/20. And ideally, you just take care of this like in the first week. That way you can focus on the stuff that really moves the needle, which is content and backlinks, right? But it's important that you do take care of this though, because like the effectiveness of your content and backlinks depends on this too, right? Like if you write a good piece of blog content, you want the search engine to prioritize that blog content. If you publish a new collection page, you want the search engine to prioritize crawling that collection page. You don't want the search engine to be crawling all these duplicate pages and wasting resources on stuff that don't have any SEO value. right? So it's very important that you get this out of the way. But this is really very quick to take care of for the most part, right? There are some stuff that do take some time. Like if we have like if we're working on a large site that the client didn't put any alt tags in all their images, then yeah, we do take some time to fix that. But again, in terms of priority, we put that at the bottom because content and backlinks are still what's going to move the needle, right? Like adding alt tags, spending a week adding alt tags to images is not gonna improve your SEO. Yeah. And the last thing on what do you call this? Technical SEO is site speed, which is usually not an issue. Like Shopify is actually fast. The only reason it slows down is if you slowed it down with an app or you're uploading images that optimized are not optimized, right? Like they're too large, they're too high resolution, and there's two ways to fix that. If you already uploaded a ton of images on your site that need to be optimized, you can use CrushPix. It'll optimize all those images, it's just plug and play. But if you're proactive and you optimize the images before you upload them, that's also something you can do, and you wouldn't have to use CrushPix. But most of the time, site speed optimization is really just making sure that you're not bloating up your site by adding unnecessary apps, unnecessary code, right? And uploading images that are too large and unoptimized. It usually does those two. Yeah. And that's it for technical SEO, really. It's pretty straightforward. It's usually just a checklist that you just go through. And yeah, you
Miko,
guys have any questions? Yeah.
how to add the image of each product at the SERP? I have some of the product, the image is
Mhm.
showing at the SERP, but other
Mhm.
products is not showing. So if there is anything to do?
Mhm. So it really depends because usually it just shows like it's hard to force it to show more than one image,
Oh,
right?
no,
Like
yes,
is it showing an image?
yes. I meant
Mhm.
one image only, but
Mhm.
some of the other products, the image is not showing.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
why some
sometimes
of the product is showing and the other, there is some kind of a
mhm.
schema or something to do?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it's showing here. Uh so on your schema, there should be an image section on your schema, and you want
Mhm.
to just make sure that the image that you want to feature on the SERP is what you're referring to in that image section, right? You again, like Shopify usually takes care of this automatically. It'll take your first image, your first product image, and automatically use that here. Usually,
Yeah, I saw
yeah.
that of some of the products, but the other products, they have no images or image.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Can you check for those products? Can you check if the schema is has the image like in the schema, right? Because number
I
one, if the image is in the schema and it's still not showing, it's just the SERP. It might just be the SERP, unless your competitors have it. If your competitors have it, then yeah, there's something wrong.
So
But
is the
yeah,
schema the schema automatic by the Shopify, you mean, or the one I created? Because I didn't create anything.
no. So it's normally automatically done by Shopify, but
Uh-huh.
again, depending on your theme, it might have all of this or it might be missing some of this. So you want to double check, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because like it's not uncommon to have schema already built in and you see the stars, you see the price, but let's say for some reason your theme just doesn't have the image section in your schema. That can happen, right? So you always want to double check which properties you have on your schema.
But if the theme has no schema for the image, that means the entire products won't have image on the SERP.
No, it will because
Well,
like the search engine, like the schema makes it easy for the search engine to identify these things, but the search engine, is sophisticated that it can assume like the main product image is the image. The schema just makes it easier, right?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have another question regarding
Uh,
to the redirect. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
I redirect a URL
Mm-hmm.
and yes, I redirect to, let's say I have an X product, redirect to the Y product. And after a while, because of the X product, it's got discontinued or out of stock. Let's say after a while, I got the product again. Is it possible to remove the redirect and keep the product that I already removed? I use the same URL.
Sorry, can you repeat that? You
I'm so bad in explanation, I know. So I do
no
have a
no
product.
yeah.
Let's
You
say
have a product.
I have X product and
Mm-hmm.
I removed this product because it was out of stock or got
Yeah.
discontinued. So I
Mm-hmm.
remove the X product and then I
Mm-hmm.
redirect to Y product.
Mm-hmm.
And after a while, I got the X product again. Maybe the supplier
Mm-hmm.
have
Mm-hmm.
it again in the store or something. So is
Mm-hmm.
it possible that I can add uh, a new page with the same details, the same URL of the
Yeah.
product X that I already removed and redirect?
Yeah, you can, but you have to remove the redirect, and ideally you don't end up in the situation. So you like if there's a slight chance that the product is coming back, you don't redirect. You just leave the product page live and just put out of stock, notify me when there's stock,
Yeah.
shop related products. Yeah, so like the deleting of a product page and redirecting it is always the last option because like even like what this week we had a client that had a product that they said that they were never going to restock, but the product page they were ranking for it, right? And so it's like we cannot redirect this because this page is ranking. So the idea there is always deleting a product and redirecting it is always like the bottom, the last resort basically. Ideally you just keep it live and replace the button with out of stock, notification, or related product because
Okay,
it can still rank. It can still rank. Yeah.
but what about the solution that I said now? If in case of
Hmm.
I did that, I
Hmm.
removed it, redirect, and then the product came back to the stock.
Yeah, you can do that. Just remove the
I
redirect.
can use the same URL,
Hmm.
same name, yeah, the same URL.
Yeah, just remove the redirect.
Yeah. And now when you're saying that your client has a product that is
Mhm.
ranking, but it's out of stock. So if a
Mhm.
product is out of stock, will it still ranking?
It will for a bit, but then it will actually
Okay.
lose its rankings because a really important thing in SEO now is goal completion. If a user ends up on your site to buy a product because it's ranking and it sees that it's out of stock and they hit the back button and they hit the second the second ranking page, Google will see this and move that second ranking page up and then up until you lose your rankings because the users are going back into the SERP and looking at other options because you couldn't fulfill their journey, right? So you can still rank, but eventually you will lose your rankings because the user could not fulfill, like, could not complete his goal of buying whatever the product was.
Okay. For the
and
internal,
that, oh,
yeah,
go ahead, keep going.
yeah. For the internal linking,
Hmm.
uh, is the banner like have the link with the image or something? This is can consider as internal linking as well?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, Omar, it's okay.
Thank you. Just going back to product schema, how do I check this? Is it just via the search console
So there's
or
there's the search console, and then there's the structured data testing tool. There's a lot. Yeah, there's the structured
just
data testing tool. You can use schema markup validator. Yeah, and I'll just show you an example of how that looks like. Oh, this is the yeah. There you go. And then we can test it here
where
too.
where do you go? I have to slow down just a bit. So validator dot.
Yeah, you can just Google schema, structured data testing tool. You Google that, and then the first two results. Well, the second and third one. This one goes. You click this to go here. The first result actually will lead you to both.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Those are the ways to test, and then you can put in the URL there, and it'll test it, and then you can kind of see what schema it has. Like so, this product schema. has, yeah, not type, product name, image, description. Again, usually Shopify will take care of this. So you will see all of this and automatically filled up with whatever you have, usually.
So if I didn't see anything, it means it's something
Yeah.
something's wrong, right? Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And here, there seems to be something wrong even because they have two schemas. They have two product schemas. This is confusing the search engine because now, yeah, because they probably thought that they didn't have schema or that Shopify didn't do an automatic schema, and then now they have two. Or they have an app, like a review app, that provides schema, and then Shopify is also providing schema, and now they have two schemas, which is not ideal usually. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, here it looks fine. Product snippets. Ah, that has two. Yeah. Yeah. This is unnecessary. Right.
How do you know it has two? Sorry.
Well, here you can see that it has two
Ah,
product schemas.
two
Yeah.
products. Oh, okay.
Yeah. And here also you can see that it has two. Right? And this one has no review, and this one has no aggregate rating. And I'm guessing that's the Shopify one, and I'm guessing this one is done by the review app. If they are using a review app, then they have the schema here, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I used to
And
have two also. There was an
yeah,
application called Tiny SEO. So they can
yeah. That's
schemas.
exactly how it usually happens.
Mm.
What they would do is they should just remove this one. And then that way they have the one that actually has the rating and everything. Because they have two, and one this doesn't have the rating and the review. So yeah, that's how you check.
So we can remove the one for the Shopify in case the one for Shopify has no reviews.
You just want to make sure that you have a complete one,
Okay.
right? Yeah. Yeah, see, they have
Okay.
two product schemas. Like one is more complete than the other. One doesn't have aggregate rating. This one has aggregate rating. This one doesn't, right? But this one has everything that the first one has. So this is basically just duplicate again, right? So you can
So
remove this one.
if it doesn't have rating, where do you go to add it?
You add it yourself.
By the
Um,
code?
usually no. So there's the usually your review app will have a way to add it. Usually,
Okay.
yeah, because it's tricky to add it with code, right? Like what was the rating? How many ratings? Your review app will normally be the one to supply that information and add it to the schema.
Cool. I don't know. I have an app that I'm using just called SEO Schema, and my product schema was off, so I just turned it on, and maybe maybe that'll kind of maybe they'll do their work. But I just want to understand it so I can
Yeah, yeah.
tell them,
It's
like ask them
it,
what's up.
it's important to know also, so that you
Yeah,
know to check. Yeah.
cool. I
Do you guys
appreciate
have
it.
any more questions? Because kind of have
That's
to
it.
get on another call after this.
All right, guys. Well, take care. Appreciate it.
No, thank
All
you,
right.
Miko.
Thanks,
Cheers.
guys. Have a good
Bye.
one. Cheers.
You too.
Bye.